Instead, I went from music and art in 1962. I de-nerdified myself, and at Syracuse, I majored in hair. Then I went to graduate school, and I was on the cusp of getting my PhD in experimental psychology, but it was an enormous cusp. It was the world's biggest cusp. Went on and on and on, and I never did. What I did in there is I put animals on reinforcement schedules there, and we did things to them that are now prohibited by the Geneva Convention. And so what they did is they'd press the bar, and you gave them a reinforcement schedule, which meant you rewarded them. And an interesting thing, the one thing I absolutely learned is that if you give an animal food every time they press the bar, and then you stop giving them food, they very quickly stop. But if you give them it intermittently, you start them off all the time they get it, then they get it every 6th time, 8th time, 100th time, 5th time, like a gambling schedule. They never stop. They're very, very persistent. Okay, so then I quit, got booted out of graduate school, whole other story, and I wanted to be a cartoonist. That's me in 1974. And kept getting rejected by the New Yorker. Rejected hundreds of times. Then I realized because I was selling to other magazines, and that kept me going. Every once in a while, I'd tell to the National Lampoon. I'd tell something to the New York Times. I was on an intermittent reinforcement schedule. I was hooked, just like my little rodent. Here's the first cartoon I ever sold to Saturday Review in 1974. Faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, no shorthand. Here's another one. Please tell the king I remembered the punchline. So this took forever. This is all done with dots with a rapidograph pen. I have a whole chapter in the book about that. Okay, then eventually, though, amazingly, after 500, 1,000, let's put it this way, between 1974 and 1977, I submitted to the New Yorker lots of cartoons, 10, 20 in a batch. And miraculously, the rejection changed to this. Now, that is not New Yorker humor. I just want you to know that right now. But it is humor, and really, part of humor is emotional truth. That's actually what I felt. Also, I proved my parents wrong, a million things. And also, how am I going to earn a living on this if I sell 1 out of every 500 cartoons?